Ladies and gentlemen, I am the War Boss Squee. Welcome you to episode 2 of our Shadowrun Returns playthrough. And today we find ourselves in a morgue run by the organ grinders. Lovely folks who basically buy your organs and limbs and basically chop bodies when necessary. Lovely people. The smell of death and decomposition washes over you, only slightly masked by the minty, fake fresh of industrial cleaner. Yeah, these guys are actually a necessary evil because, well, the hospitals aren't really as much of a thing as they used to be, especially in an area like the Barrens. If there could be considered a Wild West in Seattle, this would be it. Oh, hold on, I need to adjust this real quick. Boop. There we go. So, come on. Oh, what the hell just happened there? There we go. So this is where the locator chip and our friend Sam's head brought us. And we're going to talk to Mr. Dresden. Hovering over the recently departed is a small dwarf whistling a tune. His broad grin says, "I love my job." A little bit more than you'd want or expect from someone in the chop shop trade. As you approach, he looks up with a lopsided grin. There's something kindly in his eyes, although it might just be a stray reflection of chrome and surgical tools. Dresden's awesome. I really like his little avatar here. Sorry, didn't expect any visitors at this hour, and some asshole at corporate took my receptionist. What can I do for you, sir? Are you the coroner? I'm John Dresden, the organ grinders branch manager here. So, yeah, this makes me this franchise area's coroner too. And you are? War boss. I represent a man named Sam Watts. Watts? I've always pronounced it Watts, but... And I'm here to look into his murder. He frowns. Interesting. A dead man makes for a strange client. Well, what makes you think he's here? Well, Sam did have a locator chip embedded in his skull. I followed it here. I see. Well, you're right. He's here. Not too many people have know about the murder yet, though. The press haven't caught wind of it yet, what with it being all the way out here in the Barrens. So who told you he was dead? Let's see. Now, we have two options here. Now, we can talk about the reward, or we can go with the nicer option, Sam's digital ghost. When his heart stopped, I got sent a recorded message asking me to bring his killer to justice. Guess he had a hunch. The dwarf raises his eyebrows, a smile wiping the suspicion from his face. A dead man switch, eh? Fascinating. I was working on him earlier. He's over here. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that while this is the city of Seattle, and the city of Seattle, more specifically the Seattle Metroplex, also encompasses areas like Tacoma and whatnot, it has its own government, although there is no more police force. That's hired out to private security called Lone Star. And everything else is controlled by a corporation in some fashion or another. Come on, I clicked on you. There we go. He's my second Emerald City Ripper victim. The third one was downtown. Ripper, huh? That's the classics never go out of style. Not my title. That's what the Seattle press insists on calling the killer. All I know is that the original Jack, our Ripper knows how to handle a scalpel. This one's even more twisted. He or she always removes an internal organ from the victim. Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but I thought that the original Jack the Ripper did the same. Might have just been a little bit of added on suspense for the locals, though, back when that was going on. What prize did the Ripper take from Sam? Watt's liver was cleanly cut out. How about the other lucky contestants? First victim's heart was missing. The third had his spleen removed. Dresden, get out here! And that would be an orc. Ugly bastard. So this guy works for Lone Star, which means he's private security. Probably not the nicest sword on the planet either. Come on. Thank you. And we got a basic med kit. And let's see what else we got here. There we go. Ah, there we go. Remember what my controls are. Come on. It's a little slow to respond to the controls sometimes. Sam's body is half covered with a sterile surgical sheet. His face an ashen white. For the first time without a smirk on it. Below the chest there's a small pencil-thin incision covered in dry blood. Beyond that, the corpse is immaculate. It would seem that the killer knew exactly what they wanted from him and took it. Next to Sam are several plastic envelopes containing the evidence found on his body. You can examine the evidence through the bag without spoiling it. So there's a business card, a cred stick, a purple shirt, and a handwritten note. So let's look at the business card. Moving things around, you can make out that it's a card from a place called the Seamstresses Union. There's something handwritten on the back, but blood has made it illegible. I have a cred stick. A standard, cheap, unsecured cred stick. No way of knowing what's on it without slotting it. We're going to take that. You slot the cred stick in your PDA. 300 new yen is added to your account. Now, the way it works is that pretty much everything's digital now, so you very rarely run into people that actually have physical currency, but what everybody has is a cred stick. It's kind of like a... Think of it as a prepaid debit card. You put money on the cred stick, usually transfers from somebody else when they pay you for a job. And you can put it into any PDA, and it'll tell you what your balance is and all that good stuff. Really great. So we're going to look at the purple shirt. It's Sam's shirt. 7 of the buttons are missing, and blood has thoroughly soaked it. The bag sloshes a bit in your hand. Joy. And the handwritten note. You can only see part of the note, given the torn off bits and bloodstains. Sam, I feel terrible that we argued. We have been something long. To say I'm sorry. See you there. Love, Jessica. Perhaps a girlfriend. Now let's see what McCloskey's freaking happy ass wants. Towering over the diminutive corner is a homicide detective right out of central casting. If you ignore the tusks, pointed ears, and the Neanderthal brow, you can smell his cheap aftershave from a mile away. So this is our new Ripper Vic. Watts. Name's familiar. Didn't his mother kill herself a while back? The coroner frowns. So you insisted at the time. He chortles. Come on, she offed herself. I had on very good authority. Now let's go, Dresden. Give me something to work with here. This Ripper case is my ticket to a lieutenant's badge. I've already posted everything I know. The killer stuns the target with a combination of drugs and magic, then removes a single internal organ while they're still alive. That's gotta hurt. The perpetrator is most likely right-handed with a slim hand that knows its way around a scalpel. Has a decent understanding of human and metahuman anatomy, too. So, I'm looking for a whacked-out surgeon? Not necessarily. I don't know any surgeons who still use scalpels anymore. These days it's all done with computer-controlled lasers. It could be anyone from a military field surgeon to an antique medicine aficionado. You're no damn help, dwarf. The Lone Star detective finally notices you. You note his superhuman powers of observation. Who the hell are you? Now, this is where additional speech options come into play. If I had Strength 4, I could tell him to piss off. But I don't. So let's see. I don't think we want to cooperate with this guy too much, so... But we are a smartass because, well, it's me. I'm new in town. You're the welcoming committee? If you're new in town, let me be the first to tell you that I run the show. If you get in my way, you'll end up back here on a slab. He looks back at the dwarf. Dresden, get me more. I am putting someone in a cell or a box this week and claiming my promotion. Downside to having private security is they do tend to be somewhat corrupt at times. Alright, Mr. Dresden, what else do you have for me? Dresden looks amused. Do you always make friends that easy? Let's see. I'm great at dinner parties, too. He cocks his head to one side. Be straight with me. You really going to work for the dead man? Let's see. Sam was there when I needed him. I'm going to return the favor. I like that one. Fascinating again. The Detective McCluskey isn't interested in anything but isn't interested in anything but Detective McCluskey. He'd convict his own mother if it meant another $10 million a week in his paycheck. Plus, he's on the take. Dresden pauses, considering. You have honor, after a fashion. Try to honor the dead in my work, so we have that in common. What can I do to help you? So, all these lovely options. Here, we're going to just start from the top and work our way down. On the take, who's paying to hold his leash? I don't know, but someone with major pull has been looking out for McCluskey's career and wallet. And what was that McCluskey said about Sam's mother? The official report is that she committed suicide about a year ago. Aren't you the official in that sentence? I mean, he is the coroner here. My name's on the report, but my actual findings left some doubts. Can't say that it wasn't suicide, but there were unusual bruises on her upper arms, and she didn't use her dominant hand to pull the trigger. I was told to drop it, so I dropped it. And this is a little part of Shadowrun where this sort of thing comes into play a little bit more, where as far as there is law, but corporate interests can trump local law, especially since Lone Star, our private security forces here in Seattle, are corporate, and they don't get paid jack. So if you murder somebody and you happen to know the detective in charge, slipping them a bribe to look the other way or find someone else who did it, not that difficult. So what are organs worth these days? A whole healthy body can be worth a bunch of million, but individual organs, not worth as much anymore, with all the synth and cyber stuff on the market these days. Organ grinders only deal in the recently deceased. There's plenty of other chop shops that aren't as picky, though, and they don't care where the bodies come from, either. And because this setting is basically RoboCop meets Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, yes, you can get cybernetics. However, cybernetics and magic don't work too well, so we're not going to be getting any of that. So who still uses scalpels? Doctors still learn how to use them in their first year of med school, as do coroners, but neither profession uses them much anymore. It's possible some of the slimier chop shops still use scalpels, I suppose, but I wouldn't know where to look. And we have the Seamstresses Union. It's a nearby club in the Barrens that attracts the lowlifes. You'd probably like it. Oh, Dresden, I thought we were being friends. Me, I'm not really the going out type. Always too much to be done around here. Plus, the dead are just easier to get along with. Yeah, probably because they don't, call your joke stupid. I just need to know one more thing. Where was Sam killed? And we got some karma. Dresden looks at you intently for a moment before speaking. You know, I might be able to do you one better. Why don't you poke around those body lockers in the back and see if you can find anything useful? Do you know where the murder site is or not? Dresden says nothing. A sly smile plays across his face as he turns back to his work, whistling it too. Ah, Dresden. Now, do a little bit of looting. So we want to go here. This has an icon for us to interact with something, and this has an icon that tells us that there's something that we can use. We got ourselves another basic medkit. A dock wagon basic trauma kit, which basically allows you to resurrect somebody, assuming that they've just recently died on your team. Real quick, we got some karma, so we can discuss how this works. Now, you don't level up in the traditional sense in Shadowrun. This is true in both the video game and in the tabletop game. Each boost costs you a certain amount of points, and right now we have 2. So let's see what we can spend our karma on. These are all 4 points, that's 3. We can bring pistols up to 2 if we wanted. Buy a new ranged weapon skill. Some dodge. Reduce the chances to be hit by a physical attack that you can't dodge bullets though, so that's an important thing to remember. We have strength-based stuff like close combat and melee weapons, and we're not going to be messing with any of that. Thrown weapons includes grenades, throwing knives, intelligence, and this is biotech, which is your basic doctor skill. Allows you to boost yourself up a little bit more using med packs. Deckings for hacking, like I mentioned last episode. We have drones, drone combat, willpower. Alright, spellcasting is already at 2, so I can't raise that up any higher. This is for adept powers. Basically, the way an adept works as opposed to a shaman or a mage is that all their magic's focused internally. So you can have the Kung Fu master that can jump 30 feet, glide to the ground, and hit you like 9 times in a heartbeat, and your whole body explodes. Very Fist of the North Star if you do it right. Some charisma. Calculates the chance to increase. Use to calculate the chance to control spirits. And also gives us etiquette options. We have spirit summoning, we can get it 2. Spirit control, which we need to have spirit summoning 2 to get spirit control 2, obviously. Conjuring is not a skill I particularly find very useful. It's basically setting up magical traps. So we're going to skip that. And we're going to grab summoning 2. Yes, I like that. Increases spellbook slot if not yet unlocked. Alright, that's fine. So we'll get an additional spot for a slow, but you have to buy spells. Spells are something that have been studied, and it's basically like knowing advanced maths. If you have the ability to cast magic and you have the right formulas, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go see what's in the drawers here. The cold storage drawer is labeled John Doe, but the internal thermostat is set to 21 degrees Celsius. Another thing to keep in mind is that this setting uses the metric system. I don't know the difference between. I can't do the math on that. So we're going to open the drawer. The cold storage drawer opens to reveal the fully clothed body of a man, arms folded across his chest. In addition to sporting some of the brightest orange hair you've ever seen, the body seems to be in very good condition. Jake Armitage. We love Jake. Jake is the main character from the original Super Nintendo Shadowrun game that I mentioned before. Whoa! Easy there! In one quick move, he jumps down from the drawer and stands before you. For someone who just woke up in a morgue locker, he seems unfazed and pretty well put together. You spot a dated jack drilled into his temples and some shamanistic tattoos peeking above his collar. An interesting combination. Now, a data jack is, for any of you who've seen Johnny Mnemonic, you can basically plug information directly into your brain, download skills, you name it, it's awesome. I told John to wake me up at 6 in the morning. Is it 6 yet? Doesn't feel like 6 yet. You're just sleeping in a freezer. A freezer for dead people. Don't tell me you haven't considered it. Cheaper than a coffin hotel. The service is just as good. He chuckles. Well, so much for a good night's sleep. On the plus side, I notice you haven't killed me yet, so that's good. If you aren't after me, I want your story. The latest Ripper victim. Did you know him? Sam, eh? Glad someone cares. We used to drink together every now and then over at the Union. Decent enough guy. Always in trouble over something or another, though. Jake yells towards the other side of the room. John! Is this guy cool? Yeah, he's on the level. Working for Sam, believe it or not. Some sort of dead man switch. Thought you could help him out. Maybe even stop moping around the shop all day. Thanks for volunteering me. He pauses. Might be sizing you up. It's hard to tell behind those shades. Alright then. The name's Jake. And you are? Nice to meet you, Jake. I'm War Boss. And well-mannered, too. Such a rare thing in this city. Well, it sounds like you're taking a dive into the deep end out here. John's right. I might be able to help you out. I was with Sam the other night of the murder. Poor guy. I was hanging out at the Seamstresses Union that night, tripped out and rowdy. I'd been laying low there for a couple of days after a bad run. Mrs. Kubota asked me to throw Sam out, so I did. But out in the alley, some gangers got the jump on me. He winces. Damn. Maybe I need some soy calf after all. John, you grab me a cup? Basically, all the food and drink in Shadowrun, the cheap stuff, is derived from soy. If you want to eat the good stuff, real meat, have real coffee, you gotta have the money. Get your own damn cup. My hands are dirty anyway. What's wrong with this intestine? You hear a loud squelching sound as Dresden continues his work. Well, at least he's enthusiastic. Thanks, John. You're a real pal. Anyway, there's a big fat corp bounty on my head. Like I said, my last job didn't exactly go according to plan. Out in the alley, a few Halloweeners got the jump on us. Damn gangers thought they could turn a quick profit off of my head. Jake smiles, and you get the impression that didn't work out so well for the gangers. Sam stumbled off during the fight, though, and that's the last I saw of him, until he turned up here, dead on arrival. Reminds me of my last stay in this place. You've done this before? It's a long story. I end up in the morgue more often than the average guy, which is actually true. I think the last game starts with Jake on a slab, about to be autopsied, with a bullet in his head. Yeah, Jake here is a regular. Should have started a rewards card, Jake. A few more visits, you get a free night's stay. Jake laughs. I'll hold you to that, John. Anyway, they found Sam's body less than a block away from the Union, missing liver and all. Tell you what, you like you could handle yourself in a fight? I could use some backup to settle the score with those Halloweeners out there. Leader's got the whole gang searching the Barrens for me. I need to get rid of that asshole. In return, I'll take you to the place where Sam was murdered. Not safe to hit these streets alone at night, trust me. Jake eyes you up and down, and maybe I'll throw in some decent supplies while we're at it. What do you say? Well, I do like a bit of street justice every now and then. Alright, Jake, count me in. Great. I've been hiding out here ever since that run-in with those Halloweeners. Whiny bunch of gangers, but the stretch of the Barrens is their turf. Hell, I'm surprised you even made it to this morgue in one piece without packing some heat. Dude, I'm magic. Very funny, Jake. You can sleep in the dumpster tomorrow. So, do you need a weapon? Let's see what we got here. Pistol, shotgun, submachine gun, a rifle, or melee. And I don't know what melee weapon he would give you. Probably a baseball bat or a sword or something. But we are trained to use a pistol, so give me a pistol. My weapon of choice as well. Here, take this one. So, ready for an evening out on the town? I'm ready. I'll follow your lead. The Halloweeners aren't looking for you yet. Now, the funny thing is that since Seattle is basically the Wild West of this particular setting, there are an awful lot of banditos. There's lots of different gangs. You have motorcycle gangs, triads, these fun little doofs like the Halloweeners who like to set themselves on fire and really, really love the bad guy from The Crow. And they set other things on fire as well, and they tend to be pretty good at it. So, a lot of gangs are set to a specific meta-type, like you have human-only gangs, orc-only gangs, elven-only gangs. But the Halloweeners are equal opportunity. As long as you have a touch of firebug in you, you got a place with them. The Redmond Barrens. Run in the Seattle sprawl, and sooner or later you'll find yourself in the Redmond Barrens. It doesn't matter your business. The Barrens doesn't like you. Take 1 part radioactive wasteland, 3 parts dog-eat-dog slum, add a dash of tourist trap, and you've got a recipe for mean as hell. You leave the sanitized death and formaldehyde of organ grinders behind, entering the anarchy and desperation of the streets. Jake stops a moment to breathe deeply, filling his lungs with motorcycle exhaust, radioactive dust, cordite, and who knows what else. He exhales with an expression of wry contentment. The stench and grime tell him he's home. Alrighty, my stash is just around the corner in the alley. So let's see if we can pull back here a little bit so you guys get a good look at it. So we have a smoke shop over here. Actually, that might actually be a strip club too. Some slot machines. Does the bus stop here? This is the Barrens. I don't think the bus is coming. Got ourselves a Joy Girl right here, and if you don't get that euphemism, I really can't help you. Looking for a date? Elves are my favorite. She will say that no matter what metatype you are. So here's Jake's stash up here. So come on. I clicked on you, didn't I? Yeah, come on. There we go. Got to clear away some of the trash. There we go. Come on. Hidden in the garbage-strewn alley is a high-tech safe with a mag card reader on the front. The smooth hiss, the safe opens to reveal a collection of gear that is a perfect match for your skills. You take the gear. And we'll have to look at that in a minute because here comes trouble. I got some spells now. Awesome. Hand over the loot, bozos. Some random jerk-offs. Ah, you got a lot of awful closer than I would like you to. So did he take cover? No. Alright, this guy has, I have no idea how much health. And we do 6 damage with the pistol, 3 damage with our fists. But we should have some magic. So let's see what we got here. We have Mana Bolt. A 2-round cooldown, 8 damage, and costs me 1 action point. A powerful magical bolt that ignores normal armor and targets willpower. And we have an armor spell that gives me +1 armor. Well, I think we're going to hit this guy with a Mana Bolt, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the willpower of your local gang banger is probably not that great. And because we have 2 action points, we can also shoot him. So, Jake, you are also a spellcaster. Jake has Flamethrower, which I forgot he had, which is awesome. Heal Wound, which is a 3-round cooldown. Heals all the damage from the most recent attack. And Aim, increases the target's to hit chance by 12% last 2 rounds. So what we're going to do, we're going to shoot this jerk off and hopefully kill him. Nice crit for double damage. And we will use Flamethrower on this fella. Nah, that didn't do very well. Stop shooting at me. Jake is right there and he just tried to set you on fire. Alright, so we need to move up a little bit closer. Take ourselves some cover while we're at it. Alright, mugger. Ah, only 3 damage. But still, that might be close enough. That's a hit for 10. 1 more will finish him off. Thank you, Jake. That's very kind of you. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, actually, after we read this, so welcome to the Barrens. Guess I'll have to find a new spot to hide my gear. So I shouldn't invest in real estate around here? Only by the hour. Hey, you've seen where I stay the night. Now that you've got some gear, let's go deal with those Halloweeners. Now, the interesting thing about this game, and one of the things I actually really like, is that you get experience from progressing in the game and for completing certain tasks. But just randomly whacking a couple of knuckleheads who bit off more than they can chew ain't going to do it for you. So the game really rewards creative thinking and exploration, but doesn't exactly reward you just for straight up murdering a bunch of knuckleheads. A worried man. The man before you appears well-mannered but nervous. Excuse me, sir. I don't know you, but you look like you can handle yourself in a fight, and we need some help. What's your problem? Some thugs are shaking down the market we've set up here. It's been getting worse lately. I don't think we can afford to pay them anymore. But no one will stand up to them, and Lone Star isn't about to get involved. Where's this market of yours? It's just down the street, sir. Please, our livelihoods depend on this market. Now, another thing about Lone Star that is worth mentioning, since this has now come up, is the fact that, again, like I have mentioned, they're corporate, and it really, the problem is that they're not dedicated law enforcement, they're dedicated security. And the Barrens does not provide enough reward for them to take the risk of sending any officers down here. So the Barrens is pretty lawless, except for what the gangs can affect. You know, they take over territory and say these are the rules, and that's it. Some gangs are actually beneficial, some of them are not. But most of them are not. Her clothes may be dirty, but this woman is far from downtrodden. Hey, not that that's my business, but I wouldn't go that way. Why? What's going on? Just some Halloweeners stirring up trouble again. She points to the south. They rode in this morning on those fancy bikes. Set up camp in the old street market. They've been marching up and down the street all day, shaking down anyone who wanders past. Typical. Well, odds are those are the guys we're after. Sounds like a friendly bunch. You gonna be safe out here? She laughs. Do you think I'm dumb enough to get caught out in the open by one of those assholes? Nah, I know these streets like the back of my hand. Worry about your own skin. And thanks for the heads up. So conveniently, no sweat. Conveniently, the problems that this guy is having with the local gangers and the problems that Jake is having with the gangers turn out to be one and the same. And this is where the karma system comes into play, because we'll get karma for dealing with these jokers, but we should also get additional karma for helping this guy out. Now, which is why this game rewards exploration, and being a dick is part of being a Shadowrunner. You're basically a hired gun in one capacity or another, but that doesn't mean you need to be an asshole about it. So, let's see here. That looks like this is the Halloweener symbol here, a really demonic-looking pumpkin written in spray paint by someone with Tourette's. Probably cussing and screaming the whole time. All right. And our first contestant right here. Let's see how close I have to get to him. I'd like just to be able to jump in from here behind cover, but something tells me I'm going to have to get close. Oh, I don't want to get that close. I really don't. But that's where it's telling me. Okay, here we go. Hey, asswipes, take another step forward. We are going to plant you right there. This is Halloweener property now. This is one of the two that got away. If I hadn't missed my shot, these idiots would have given up and moved on by now. Wait a minute. You're rolling with Jake? Bad idea, chummer. The Halloweeners are collecting that bounty. Killing you? Well, that'll be a nice bonus. Oh, they have a mage. Rule 1, always geek the mage. And he gave him armor, which is why you always geek the mage. Here comes some additional knucklehead over here. So we got 3 of them. Oh my god, he's got a shotgun. That sucked ass. Alright, so what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's open our happy fun box of toys here. We're not doing anything at the moment. A spirit would be nice, though. I don't have any spirit tokens. We're going to take cover over here away from that nasty, nasty shotgun. And we're going to shoot this prick. He's got armor, but I can still hurt him a little bit. Alright, Jake, what I need you to do is give me some of that lovely heal wound. Now, since my last damage that I took was 12 hit points, this will restore 12 hit points. It's basically making that injury I took go away, which is very, very cool. Now, you have armor, but it doesn't help you against magic. Now, if you want to ignore the cooldown, you can basically overcharge your magic, but it costs hit points. In this case, it would cost 24 hit points, and I actually don't know how many Jake has. How many does Jake have? No idea. Burn, bitch. 12 damage. Okay, so he's taking 15 at this point. Oh, he gave him an accuracy boost. Dude's already got a shotgun. How much more of a freaking hand does he need? And he missed his shot. And then this guy's coming up. Ugh. Did you just double barrel me? Now, that was 5 for me, and probably 5 for Jake as well. This is a job for magic. It ignores normal armor and targets willpower. Let's see what we can get going on here. Nice! Very, very nice. Yeah, shoot this prick. A weak hit, but it'll do. Alright, Jake. I'm going to risk your neck a little bit and get you right out there. And a crit for 20 again. Jake is lucky. Now we just have the mage. And you're just standing there like a dumbass. Fine. Free shot. 9 damage. That was a crit and a half. Literally. 6 damage. Alright, Jake. Come on back. Plant you back in cover. And finish off the mage, please. Awesome. Double crit again. What is it with Jake? Alright. You're dead, Jake! Dead! This ends now, asshole. Oh, he's a big fella. And he's got a machete. Alright. My mana bolt's back, so 8 damage, ignores armor, which is awesome. And let's see, we need to find some. Oh, there's no good place for cover. I'm gonna put you in cover right here. I really don't want to catch a hit from that. Jake, meanwhile, is your magic back? Yes, yes it is. Let's barbecue this troll. Nice 12 damage there. Pissed. Oh, double crit again. Good God. Whoa, Uncle, I was just playing with you. I'll call off the rest of the Halloweeners, Jake. Call it even, yeah? What do you think, Jake? He smirks. Hey, I'm already at shoot on sight status with these guys. Killing John Paul means one less wiener to shoot me in the back while I'm buying smokes. Hell, they'll be doing the same to you as soon as there's a profit in it. You're right. Let's finish it. Oh, Drek. 4 damage. That was a weak hit, my friend. So, do me a favor. Stand there for a second, would you? Awesome. Karma gained. And we got some hit points from that. New objective. Visit the murder site. And we're done with the Halloweeners. One other downside is that, except for a few specific instances, you can't really loot the dead. So if that guy had anything good on him, I'm not going to know what it is. Alright, let's see here. Where's our icon? Actually, no. The murder site's actually farther up. This is just that little market. I actually wonder, do I need to talk to that guy again? Mission items. Visit the murder site. Deal with the Halloweener gang. Find Jake's stash. Alright, I guess that's the last one that we have active. So what do we have here? Yellow marker, blue marker. No, we're going to follow the blue marker. I think that's our optional objective, to go talk to that other fella. I'm not exactly sure, but it would make a certain amount of sense. We did say that would fix that problem for him, so. Come on, you stuttering piece of crap. Good news, I was talking with my buddy Psych. I plugged a video for him last week when he first started doing his retro gaming. And I again encourage you to go check him out. You can find him in my subscription panel. But looks like he'll be able to upgrade me to a new video card and a quad-core processor. Should be very nice. Okay, nothing from him. So where's this pointing me at? Ah, we have a blue thing over here. Oh, these are the gangers that he wanted me to deal with. Okay, never mind. Commerce is like a weed, taking root in the cracks and crevices of the world wherever it can. A small street market has flourished here amidst the crumbling buildings of the Redmond Barrens. I thought it was the Halloweeners. These guys are different. But we barely have anything left. Let's talk to this jerk-off head thug. Not my problem. Pay up by morning or else. Now, I have street etiquette. I might actually be able to get us out of this. The thug attempts to use his bulk and hideous breath to intimidate the shopkeeper. The old woman is holding firm, but you can see the thug's patience is fading fast, and it looks like he's about to start breaking things. Oh, I don't have etiquette gang or strength 4. Eh, who the hell are you? Bet your mom's real proud of you right now. Like I ain't never heard that before. I don't see a badge, so why don't you mind your own business? Because I'm sick of gutter punks like you. I knew you were just looking to cause static. Dash, ice this guy. You're fragging dead! And he's apparently got a baseball bat. Alright, let's deal with this one at a time. There's a bullet in you. There's another bullet in you, although that didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Take off that last wound again. Why don't any of you guys go after Jake? He's actually worth money. I'm not worth anything. Oh, I can summon a spirit here. Should pay better attention to that. Fucking hell, man. Missed the mana bolt. Alright. What do we got here? Come on, show me the ley lines. Actually, I can't see him, only Jake can, so Jake's gonna have to be the one to use them. Shoot you once. Down you go with a nice crit. One more time. Full damage, and he's out. Alright, Jake, what does this do for me? A ley line. Alright. I think it boosts my spells, but doesn't actually do anything else. Certain areas like this you can use to summon spirits for free. This doesn't seem to be one of them. This should give me a nice boost on the spell, though. 14 damage. Nice. Speak with the bullied merchant. And Mrs. James. Karma gained. I cannot thank you enough. I hate to see such bloodshed, but those men simply would not take no for an answer. We simply want to make our own way in the world. Shopkeeper holds out a few new yen. Please, it's the least we can do. I really don't want your money. Besides, the other guy hired me. Now, he should be right over here. Thank you! Aw, I know. I'm awesome. Alright, folks, we're going to call it a part there. In episode 3, we will go over and check out the murder site and then probably go visit the Seamstresses Union. You guys have a great day. Tell me what you think about the episode. I know it was a little bit rough. I'm still having a little bit of stutter issues with the video, trying to make it run smooth. It's just the game. I think my capture screen's off a bit. I just can't quite get it together today. But I will see you guys tomorrow for Pokemon. And I will see about... I still haven't decided on a schedule on this right now. Right now I'm thinking about doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you guys want, I can make videos for Saturday as well. So we'll have it 3 days of Pokemon, 3 days of Shadowrun. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.